So it is now January 3rd. Wanted to make this video on the topic of New Year's resolutions and accountability. Last New Year's 2025, I quit smoking cigarettes. Not the first time I had done so, but I quit last New Year's. I had one cigarette since, which I believe was maybe middle of March. So that would technically be my anniversary without a cigarette would be this coming March, but mostly smoke free since New Year's. What I did that I found helpful was that I told someone that I care about of my intention to quit smoking. So it's an extra layer of accountability. I don't know if this is true for everyone, but it's been my experience that sometimes it's easy to, say screw it if it's just yourself that you're holding yourself accountable. But if you make an effort to share it with someone else, someone you care about, or in this case, in a video, it's an extra layer of accountability to other people. So if you got a voice in your head telling you to go against what you had said you were going to do, it's an extra layer of protection to be like, well, I don't want to go back on my word, because then not only would I be letting myself down, but I'd also be letting down whatever the other party that you gave your word to. So you want to be about your word. You want to be somebody who follows through on the things that you say you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do when you're going to do them. And how that pertains to this new year is, so this is going back a couple years. Wanted to make more of an effort to be more active, get in better physical and mental shape. See if I couldn't turn back the tide on decades of abuse and neglect. It's been working out pretty well. I had started skateboarding again at 39. I just recently turned 43. So not just as a means to stay active, though that was a big part of it. Not really a person who really likes to go to the gym. I don't want to run unless something's chasing me. But I've loved skateboarding since I was a little kid. It's kind of hard to describe unless you've done it, but it gets to be an obsession. Or it can, not necessarily in an unhealthy way unless you're doing stuff that's like physically risky, jumping down steps and stuff or whatever. But I just find the motion and the sound and the physicality to be peaceful and meditative. I usually skate by myself and I just kind of let my mind wander. So I'm being active and meditative at the same time. So it's like helpful in both regards. So anyway, in addition to skateboarding, I also was being more active with calisthenics, push-ups, jumping jacks. Not like really weightlifting, maybe some light weights like D weights or medicine ball. Nothing crazy, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Just not breaking any records, not putting in like hours a day or whatever, just consistency. I lost 40 pounds, was 245, probably maybe like fall 2024. That's probably not true. When I started skateboarding, I was probably at my heaviest, which was, at my heaviest recently, I was at 245. I'm 6'3". Probably at my heaviest, I was probably 255, but that was more like 12 years ago. Anyway, so I started skateboarding, started being consistently active, started being more mindful. Not so much of what I would eat. I mean, I cut out sugar a lot. black coffee, but more about being mindful of when and how much I was eating. Intermittent fasting, so I give myself a window of like 12 to 6 or something. Don't eat first thing in the morning, so your body's on that burning fat mode. Don't eat right before bed. Don't eat because you're bored. But I wasn't really like counting calories. If you watch my channel, you watch my videos, I love to cook, I love to eat. I just need to be more deliberate with my choices. I was never a really big drinker, and I pretty much entirely stopped drinking, even like socially or recreationally. Maybe about 2012, I just, came home from work one day, looked in the fridge and saw beers, and was just like, ugh. Didn't feel like it, and just didn't really pick it up for like 10 years. And then I like to cook, so I'd get a few beers if it was like something that I would use in cooking. Like whenever I make that cabbage stew, I put like 48 ounces of lager in with the tomato sauce as part of the base. It adds flavor. But anyway, in doing that, I would pick up a few beers to drink here and there. And not that I necessarily see a problem with that, but calories do add up. Especially if you do it like a couple times a week or more, or it's just excess and unnecessary calories. So for this New Year's, oh wait, I'm kind of skipping around. So anyway, I was skating, being active. This summer I broke my toe, my pinky toe on my left, which is my lead foot for skateboarding. So it made it difficult to skateboard. I did stay consistent with calisthenics, doing like push-ups and whatnot, but I was kind of laid up for like 10 weeks on my foot. I didn't really change how I was eating. So I was still eating similarly to when I was being more active and burning more calories. And I think it's like something that a lot of people fall into, to where they probably overestimate how many calories they're burning and underestimate how many calories they're eating. One thing that I did that was really helpful is I eat an awful lot of cabbage. I really like it, and it bulks out meals without adding calories, so you don't really feel deprived. It's nutritious, it's good for your digestion, it's high in fiber, and it tastes good. And it's mild, so it kind of goes with anything, or it takes on the taste of whatever you cook it in. I especially would like to put it in like pasta. I really like pasta, but it's a lot of carbs, it's a lot of calories. So if you do like a half and half or 60-40 with steamed cabbage, or you could just flat out replace pasta with steamed cabbage if you were trying to be drastic. But I do want to continue to eat some carbs. Like, I don't want to make myself miserable in the sake of trying to maintain my figure. So anyway, broke my toe. Kind of was not as deliberate and consistent with the exercise and diet. So, and was drinking a few beers here and there. So I put on pretty much all the weight that I lost. I went from 245 to 205. I was probably 205 through like leading into summer. I would go to the skate park for like maybe an hour a day, and then I would go swim laps at the lake. So I was being quite active, but not really counting calories, just trying to keep within that window of intermittent fasting. And it wasn't like overnight or nothing, but I was seeing results just with the consistency and without depriving myself. It was easy to maintain. It's not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, it's a lifestyle change. It's just consistent effort, hopefully for the rest of your life, you know what I mean? So anyway, I weighed myself New Year's 243, so pretty much exactly where I started. However, I mean, I do have noticeably more muscle than when I started all this mess. I was just, I was a mess when it started. We'll just leave it at that. But I do have much more muscle in my, arms, shoulders, chest, core, legs. So I'm in better shape than I was when I started, even though I weigh about the same right now. But I do want to make meaningful change to get back to head in the right direction. With that, I think my intention that is my resolution for the year, is to get back on track in regards to, health and wellness and fitness. In addition to that, or towards that end, I should probably stop drinking. Again, I'm not like a binge drinker or anything, but it's just excessive calories unnecessarily. So I think that would be advisable in pursuit of my goals, and towards that end is why I wanted to make this video, because if I express to others my commitment to take steps in pursuit of these goals, it'll make it easier for me to hold myself accountable, because I'm not only accountable to myself, I'm accountable to whoever I gave my word to that I intended to do this, if you follow me. So if you struggle with keeping on track, maybe try telling somebody. I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but that seems to make sense to me. Some people don't really care about being about their word. What are you gonna do? Just try to avoid those people. Don't be one yourself, but I found in the past it's easy for myself to talk myself into or out of doing something that I should or shouldn't do. So that extra layer of protection is beneficial to me. It worked for me to quit smoking. I think it'll help for me to get back on track as far as fitness and not drinking. So yeah, if that works for you, give it a shot. Think about it anyway. Happy New Year. Good luck in your goals and resolutions moving forward. But yeah, that's about it.